Hi everyone, this is Deneen and I would like to welcome you to my process video for the first spread that I am creating with the Allie Edwards Design Labels Scrapbook Kit. If you were over on her blog this week, you will see that I was there showing you some ideas for this particular scrapbook kit. There were 6 different ideas that I came up with, and I decided to go with this particular one first. So let me just show you the pieces that I am working with here and how I got to where I am. I decided that I was going to do a full page photo. So I chose to do my spread today about the day that my son officially moved out of my home and into his first apartment on his own. And I found this particular photo that I took of him. He was end of the day and he was cleaning up, and I just snapped a photo of him in his new kitchen. And I thought this would be a great photo to pair with this particular 7 by 8¼ page. If you were over on the blog and you saw my idea, I wanted to put something here in terms of either stickers or a title with, word art. And this word art that came from the May 2019 Scrapbook by the Month kit was absolutely perfect for the intent that I had for this page. And so what I did was I used the digital version of this paper. I opened it up in Photoshop Elements. I pulled the word art into that page, and then I resized it to fit where I wanted it to go. And then I basically just hid this particular digital piece on my Photoshop Elements, and I just ran the blank paper through my printer, and the only thing that printed was the word art. So I was thrilled with how that turned out. And then what I decided to do was, instead of just filling these with words, and of course you certainly can, you are, those of you that are happy with your handwriting and you like to handwrite your journaling in, it's super simple, just go ahead, journal that in there. I like to do typed things. If you're not good at running these pages through your printer, you can always use the sticker paper and then cut them out and fit them into these boxes. But one of the things that I find is that having the digital version of these kits is so convenient for being able to hybrid scrapbook. Because what I ended up doing was I printed the digital version out after having typed my words in Photoshop Elements. And then all I did was cut out each of these journaling squares. So you will see that this is how they look when they're cut out. I fussy cut them with a pair of scissors, just a regular everyday pair of scissors. And then I went ahead and I cut them so that they can be placed on top of the original journaling spots. Okay, so that's how I was intending that it would look. And then I would just kind of embellish here and there. Because my photo had so much what we consider to be white space, I thought, I could probably switch up my idea a bit and get some additional photos in there. The problem was I didn't have a lot of photos from this day. We were so super busy, and stopping to take photos was just not on my mind. And the one thing that I did do, though, was I did take a video because I wanted to share what his new apartment looked like with the rest of my family. So at one point in time, while I was there, I walked from the front door all the way through his apartment and kind of talked about all of the rooms and showed them what we had accomplished for the day. And I ended up being able to open that video in QuickTime and then take screenshots from the video in order to get some pictures. So that's how I ended up doing this. And so what I want to do now, or what I did already do, was I printed out some of the photos and I used these already cut out journaling spots as templates to put on top of the photo and then cut the photos in this exact same shape. So what you will see is I also have, and I'll just put them on top of here. That photo came from a video. That photo came from a video. And there should be another photo. Oh, there it is. And this photo came from the video. So I was able to, and then this one I actually took. This is the outside of his apartment building. So I was able to use these again as templates to cut out photos in the exact same shape. And now what I want to do is basically just figure out how I want to spread these 8 small pieces across my spread. And so there's a couple different ways you can do that. Let's see, we could do all the photos over here, and I'm just going to quick place them in any particular way. You can do that. All the photos over here, leaving the journaling spots here. Maybe that's what you want to do. I'm not sure I like that. Let's see what else we can do. We can flip-flop some. So we could do journaling, picture, and then journaling, picture, and then journaling, picture, journaling. So kind of alternate the pictures and the journaling. So that's another option of what you can do. Another thing I was thinking of was putting all of the words on one page. So you could move these over to this page and then place your photos on top of the original journaling spots. That might be an option. There's different ways to mix them. I had gone, photo journaling. You can do 2 photos, 2 journaling, 2 journaling, 2 photos. It's, I think what it is for me at least is sitting here for a little bit and looking and deciding what catches my eye the most. What do I like? What look works the best for me? So that might take a little bit of movement for me. I could sit and look at it. I could get up and walk away from it. Sometimes changing my environment helps me to be a little bit more creative. It gives me a better idea of what I actually want it to look like in the end. So I'm going to fuss around with that a little bit and figure out how I want to place them, and then I will continue in a moment. Okay, I am back, and I think I am pretty happy with this particular layout for my pictures and my journaling spots. Moved them around quite a bit, sat, got up, looked at them from a different angle, and I guess I could probably sit here all day and go back and forth about what I think is best, but the bottom line is you just got to eventually commit and just do it. So this is how I plan on putting everything together. Now, you may ask, well, geez, why did you cut all of those journaling spots out? Why didn't you just leave them on that page? Well, even if I did put all the journaling spots on this side, my intention was to use the foam squares in order to give it a little bit of dimension. So regardless of where I was placing the journaling spots, and even if I didn't print the little pictures out and cut them out in the same shape, I always knew in my head that I wanted these particular journal spots to be raised up. So that's what I'm going to do. And these are just little 3D foam squares. Let's start over here and see what we can do. I'll start down here at the bottom. So generally speaking, when I do this, I am using probably more than I need to, but I really want to make sure that when I put it down that it can't be pushed down in the middle. So I will always try to fill the back of it with as many of these little foam squares as I can so that it has a little bit more stability. And so you can see that now as I push on it, it does not bend inward toward the paper. And then I don't always tear all of the backs off, just some. It definitely does not need to have that much adhesive. So I'll usually tear about half of them off. And then I will go ahead and kind of eyeball this and try to get it on there the best that I can over the existing journal spot. So that looks pretty good. Oftentimes I will pick it up, I will look at it from different angles. I've mentioned this 1,000 times before, I have definitely gotten more laid back when it comes to putting pages together and in terms of, being so particular about everything. I'm definitely still particular about a lot of things, but not about everything. So, okay, let's see what we have next. So we'll put this picture on next. So I will do the same thing. I will go ahead and I will add, looks like 6 is going to be the magic number for these. So I will add 6 foam squares to the back of each of these items and I will adhere them on. Okay, so I have the pictures and the journaling spots on this page all adhered with the foam squares. And now this one will be a little bit different because there isn't a template to put them on. In other words, these were easier because I knew I was placing them directly on top of the existing journaling spots on the paper. So now this is where I might get a little bit picky about how I do things. So I will kind of try to use this particular ruler. It's like a straight edge, like a right angle here, that will let me get as close to the same distance away from the bottom as the other page. So I will usually just kind of line it up a little bit, make sure that the top of the ruler is in the same spot without me messing it. Okay. And then again, I know that I want them to be in this particular order. So I will start with this one. Okay, so let's get some foam adhesive squares on the back of this guy right here. And once I get one on, it's usually a little bit easier to get the others on because, again, one is there and then you could use the one that you have on there as, a starting point, right? You want to be so much above that one, and then you want to be so much to the right of that one, and then they kind of just fall together a little bit easier once you get the first one on. So the first one is usually, for me, the most difficult, although it's not the most difficult thing in the world. So let's see. Leaving this here, you could see that these are pretty close together here. So this is that side of the page, maybe like this, and that distance away. Yeah, maybe it'd be better if I went and did it this way, the way this is actually going to look. I think that might work out a little bit better for me. And this way I can kind of see how the pages are going to look when they are right next to each other. So let's get these guys lined up. They look pretty good. And get my ruler lined up again. And that is going across the bottom. Okay, so now I know that that's how I want that to be. So I think now I'm going to start again with this photo because it is closest to the other page. So I put that one to the side and I'll put that one on after I put this one on first. Okay, so let's see. And I have to say, I am the biggest critic of myself. That is one of my flaws. I definitely am very critical of the things that I do, not just scrapbooking, but with everything. I'm a perfectionist and definitely have come a long way, but there's just parts of it that you can't leave behind. Okay, so let's see here. We'll put this here for now. I'm gonna come up from this direction here. I'm gonna hold the roller down and come from this direction, trying to get far enough away from the holes that I already punched, which you can see I've done that already. So let's see. I don't push it down too hard yet, just to get an eyeball. So you see here, that's going to bug me. There's a little bit of room here, and there's a lot of room here. So I will definitely be picking that up and moving that over. And I try not to stick it down too much. Sometimes it does get stuck. But again, it's going to be underneath the picture, so I'm not so worried about it. And then I will probably end up moving this over maybe to right about, I think right there will be good. So yeah, you can see I'm not big for actually measuring, but if I'm good with the way it looks, then I'm good with the way it looks. So I think that one is going to work pretty well. So I'll put that one there. Yeah, so you'll see that I'm now going to build off of this one. This one will actually be next. Okay, so now you can see that I have my journaling spots and my pictures all adhered to my spread, and I'm kind of happy with the way they turned out. This is a really, really simple page, so there's not a lot of thought that goes into it, but I think that adding the other photos kind of just gives it a little bit more of the story, right? There's a little bit more to the story than just, you know, him standing at the kitchen sink. I start talking a little bit about the day, and then I talk about how he feels, how I felt, and then I rounded it up with just a little bit of a, you know, looking back. You know, my journaling reads, "It was a tough day, but we made it. My heart was so full. I looked over at Ryan as he stood in his new kitchen, and I remembered my words from the day he was born. I just want to raise a good man." And in that moment, I knew that was exactly what I had done. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this, but I do want to put a little bit, maybe some embellishments on it. So, let's see what we can do here. I was looking at these, and these are the plastic labels. I can't pick them up, that came with the labels kit. And I picked two of them out, two of them that kind of went along with what I was doing. And one of them says, keep going and growing. And the other one says, you got this. So I was wondering, you know, where can I put those? And, you know, as I was going around the page, I was thinking, well, I don't want to put too much stuff all over the place. I really want my story and my photos to shine. I first was thinking, these are so hard for me to pick up. See if I could pick them up. There we go. First, I was thinking maybe up here in the corner I could put it. I wasn't sure if that stood out enough. Then I was thinking that I could perhaps place it like over this large title that I've put here. And I think that is maybe where I'm going to go with this. Yeah, let me put a little bit more thought into that. And then I want to add something else for a little bit of a pop of color. So I'll be right back with you. So here is how everything turned out for me in my spread. Kept the embellishments to a minimum on this one and added just one small label phrase, one of the plastic ones. Remember that these phrases have the little plastic on top of them, the protectant, so don't forget to take that off. I placed it on my actual title, or I guess, you know, the word art, and I kind of did it so that you can still read the word art, and then this is just an embellishment to that story. And I chose the keep going and growing. And then I added a tiny heart there, chipboard heart. These were recent little chipboard hearts, love them. Can't get enough of these at all. When I start running out, I get nervous, and then I hope that they, that the Ali Edwards team decides to add more of these in different colors to go along as add-ons with different story kits and such. So I'm always looking for more of those in different colors. And then I also added 2 additional chipboard hearts to the 2 of the photos. And then I stamped up here the date. And I think I mentioned this before. If you've ever seen another one of my videos, I am awful at stamping the dates. They're always crooked, and I'm good with it. I don't get myself worked up about it anymore. Years ago, I would have torn up this photo, started all over again just because of that, but I'm good, right? No one is going to notice that. No one is going to be worried about it. They're going to be looking at the pictures, and they're going to be reading the story. And yeah, so this is how it turned out, and I thank you so much for playing along with me. I'm going to be working on a few more of my different ideas, so I hope that you'll join me for those as well. Well, guys, here's my final version. I ended up removing the plastic phrase from inside of my word art. It just was not feeling balanced to me, and I didn't like it. So luckily for me, the adhesive was not set yet, so I was able to just take that right off. And then I ended up putting the red chipboard heart right there by itself in the middle of the word art. And that kind of made things feel better for me. The only other thing that I did after I had taken a closer look at my spread was underneath the date, I put a stamp using Stays on ink that says writing a new story. And that was from the Transitions story kit. And that made me feel better. So yeah, just keep in mind, it's always okay to change your mind and to make things yours as they make you happy. If you have any questions, please reach out, leave me a message, and I will be happy to help you out. I appreciate everyone following along with me today, and I hope to see you here again in the future. Have a great day.